what is the meaning of strategy and tactic? If you do what I've done, which is to read every book about strategy and tactics that I could put my hand on, you'll find out that the impression is that, or the definition is that strategy is something at the top and tactic is below it. Now, when you ask yourself, how do you go from strategy to tactic? You get the answer is, some miracle happens. Somehow you know how to go from strategy to tactic. Well, I don't. What is the answer? And whenever I'm finding such vague definitions, I know that I'm on quicksand. So what do? The only way is, if you are not happy with the definition out there, if they don't reflect what you know about reality, if they are not solid enough in order to build a whole castle on, you define them. But I'm a physicist. So I'm defining things like a physicist does. And this is not the regular definitions. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Let's take one of the greatest physicists ever, Einstein. And you know that Einstein became very famous because of his relativity theory. And you also know that relativity theory is something about space and time. What is time? What is time was debated since the ancient Greeks. Do we have a consensus and a clear definition of what is time? No. So, of course, Einstein had to define time. Now, listen to what is the meaning of a definition of a physicist. How did Einstein define time? Time is the thing that we measure by a clock. That's Einstein's definition. Very pragmatic, very practical, and leave me alone with all these philosophical debates. This is the same way that I went to define for myself what is strategy and what is tactic. Strategy for me is the answer to the question, what for? Tactic for me is the answer to the question, how? How do you like these definitions? Practical? Makes sense? In line with your intuition? But look what dramatic change they imply. Because let's face it, if you look on every action, no matter how big of an action, a whole initiative, or a tiny detail of how to adjust a specific machine, no matter what the action is, do we and should we ask the question, what for? And should we answer it? Should we ask also, how? Of course. This means what? Strategy and tactic are defined as a couple for each point in the structure. At the mission statement, at the highest level, and the last detail. Strategy, the answer to what for, and the answer to how. Both of them have to be defined in every level. This means that actually when we are talking about strategy and tactic, we actually talk about a structure that looks something like that. At the top, we have the strategy and tactic at the highest level, let's call it the mission statement. Then we are talking more about the way that we are going to do it, and now we will go into the functions. And then we go more and more into the details. But at each level, we have to say, to provide the answer to the what for, and to provide the answer to the how. But not only that, if we really want good communication, we have to explain why do we claim what we claim. In other words, if this is what we are trying to achieve at this level, why do we have to achieve something at this level? In other words, we have to provide the whole logic of why do we claim that the what for at this level is what it is in order to answer the what for in the higher level. And we have to prove that the how at this level will really be good enough to satisfy the what for, that will really reach it. The whole logic must be there.